Might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Welcome back to the FMA Alpha Reinforcing GT3 series. This is week 5 of 12. We're getting into the business end of the championship, and this week you couldn't have picked a better round to join in and have a view. Round 5 of 12 takes us to Circuit ZOLDER, a track that's going to challenge their drivers. As depending what car they pick, they may have a little bit of trouble over the curbs, as we'll see here in a matter of moments. But this is Racer Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell. In the booth with me, as usual, Mr. Richard Swindells, who I almost kicked out of the booth thinking it was on holidays this week. Welcome into the other side of Belgium, Rich. We were at Spa last week, and then we're going to head over to the other side here to Circuit ZOLDER here for round 5.
Yeah, I spent more time in Belgium the last week than we have in the rest of our lives, Rob. This is pretty interesting. We didn't even bother flying back home, folks.
That's right. Just picked up a couple hotel rooms, had a whole bunch of French fries, and we're good to go. But let's take a look here at the race information. Drivers currently in qualifying right now, but there you see it. We are at Circuit ZOLDER, 2.46 miles in length, 29 degrees Celsius, 85 degree track temp out there this evening. Perfect day for racing. 10 turns, not a drop of rain in the forecast. And just ignore that Stephen Kernick in the booth. As I said, was Richard Swindells in the booth, and I mistakenly almost kicked him out. Got his holidays mixed up, but as mentioned,
I didn't get fired yet. Not yet.
Round 5 of 12. This one brought to us by Chase Zilla Customs. Chase Matsko sponsoring this round, so thank you to Chase Matsko for doing that. Next week we're going to head to the halfway point, Road America, brought to us by Warped Esports. Looking forward to that one, Rich. Back-to-back great tracks here in my opinion. I like Spa too, but ZOLDER and Road America, two of my my favorites.
Yeah, ZOLDER is very underutilized. I love it as well. Certainly an interesting track. Doesn't get enough time on the iRacing service, in my opinion.
For sure. I couldn't agree with you more on that one, but let's take a look at the format for the race here tonight. Practice all wrapped up. They're in the middle of qualifying, although only about 50 seconds or so left in qualifying. The race going to be 45 minutes, unlimited tire sets, no fast repairs for these drivers. It is fixed setup. They can only tweak the brake bias on the car. They're carrying 60% fuel. They will need to take a pit stop here. Usually we see that around the 10 to 15 minute to go mark. 20 incident points gets them a drive through. 10 incident points after that gets them another drive through, and there is no DQ limit here this evening. So that's how things are set up that way. While we got a moment here, Rich, let's take a quick look here at the points championship coming in. First, why don't you take us through the pro side of things?
Yeah, and the pro side, Marshall Crocker Jr., he's got himself an 11-point lead over Alex Jacobson. Alex Jacobson still looking for that victory, but keeping up tight there with Marshall. Third place, we have Anthony Jenkins, then Ryder Poe, Chris Lashbrook, Mark Nelson, Jacob Dick, Chase Matsko, Anthony Sorrentino, and Miko Gazzoni round out your top 10. Yeah, and it looks like Rob may have his microphone not working quite right, folks. So we'll take a look here. We've also got the GT3 AM. We got Perez Abraham in first place, Jacob Williams in second, Alexander Berter in third. So those are top three. Justin Moskowitz in fourth. We have Aaron Stevens in fifth, Nigel Steely's sixth, Ryan Robertson seventh, Cody Deek in eighth, Curtis Kinnicker ninth, and Mark Ossier rounds out your top 10. I was trying to cover for you. What happens when you're a bachelor, Rob? When you're a bachelor, it all goes to hell. In 11th place, we have Mark Nelson. Beside him, we've got Kobe Booker in 12th. 13th place, we have Dustin Wells with Connor Sturgos in 14th. Row 8 in 15th place, Gustavo Ferraro. Chad Simpson, another new driver, in 16th. 17th place, we have Kyle Mavis with Jacob Williams in 18th. And rounding out row 10, we've got Broughton Jones in 19th and Anthony Jenkins in 20th.
In 21st, we're going to find Adam Brady with Justin Moskowitz to his outside. In row number 12, in 23rd place, Faraz Ibrahim and Alex Berger and Stebo in 24th. 25th place going to go to Zach Tankersley and Adam Lowe in 26th. 27th is where Jody Nielsen and 28th, Jeremy Eschman are going to reside. Rounding out the top 30, Jim Bejoy and Aaron Siebens.
Yeah, we still got a bunch more, though, folks. 31st, we've got Curtis Kinnicker, Cody Deacon, 32nd. In 33rd, we've got PJ Wentline. In 34th, Joshua Defreen. On row 18, 35th place, Jordan Probst. Timothy Dunn in 36th. Paxton Firth is 37th, and in 38th place, we have Nathan Fuller. 39th place, no time set by Steven Zabster, and no time set by Mark Ossier in 40th.
And it looks like PJ Wentline either not going to grid up here, Rich, or he's going to go for the pit start, as he was our lone driver that did not hit the grid here this evening. So we'll see. Scheduled for 40 cars. Right now we got 39 on track. That's going to be a little hectic here at Zolder. Not the biggest track, so it's going to be interesting to see how our drivers navigate through.
Especially this corner. Especially this corner, Rob. And then maybe one of the next corners as well. Those two chicanes are going to be really interesting, especially on lap 1, maybe lap 2. See how these drivers navigate the tight confines of Zolder. But I really love it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they do. They've been relatively clean this season. I think they can handle it.
I think you're probably right, Rich, but it's definitely going to be a test here for the drivers compared to what they saw last week at Spa. Drastically different track. Go from the wide open spaces to the tight confines here, so we'll keep an eye on our drivers to see how they do. But you know what? Marshall Crocker Jr. had a pretty dominating season so far here, Rich. See if Alex Bahari has something for him.
Yeah, we'll see. Alex has got great pace. He's the pole sitter. Chase Matsko's right up there too. That's nice to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens here. Bahari had his issues earlier, but we've only got one more corner, one more left-right combo before they get going here, Rob. What are you expecting going into that first chicane sequence?
Carnage. That's what that's what I'm expecting, Rich. But I was gonna say I'm not surprised to see Chase doing well here so far. This is the track he sponsored this evening, so he definitely has a liking for it. I think he sponsored it the season past too as well. So we'll see if he can pull off the win here. But he's gonna try and get away around Marshall Crocker and Alex Bahari as the green flag is out, and there comes that field into turn one here, Rich. We'll see. There they go, 39 cars. Oh, we already got a couple out into turn one. I think that was Ryder Poe. Might have got caught up in that one. We'll see a number of drivers trying to get back up. Yeah, there is Paxton Frith too as well. Ryder Poe still trying to get turned around. Looks like Nathan Fuller might have got wrapped up in that one too. But we'll go back, take a look at that in a little bit.
Yeah, 3 wide into turn one almost never works. So I don't know what Alex Bahari's doing up front. It looks like he's warming up the tires and setting a pace lap there, weaving back and forth. I mean, come on, Alex, we're racing here. Get going straight. There we go. They get over the curbs. See them hopping and jumping, but looking behind the back here of Alex Bahari with the best profile pick in the business, besides maybe Alex Birders, but Marshall Crocker Jr. following tightly in behind. Looks like so far so good. We've got a relatively clean start, just a couple guys off, but Connor Sturgis, Curtis Kinneker, and Ryder Poe, but for the rest of them, everything looks pretty decent.
Yeah, so far so good for the majority of the field. As you mentioned, a number of drivers falling down through the field. We'll go back and catch what happened to them after a lap or two once things get going here. But Chase Matsko currently holding on to third spot, so he's doing well here, Rich, doing what he needs to do to try and put the pressure into Marshall Crocker. Alex Bahari, there we go. Marshall Crocker with proper paint on that Ferrari now. Still got the prancing horse, but he's got the proper looking fast paint job on it this week.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I still think it's the wrong car, but hey, I'm not on the team, so I don't get a vote, folks. But Chase Matsko, thank you for picking this track and sponsoring this race. Robin, I love it. Hey, there's somebody else who's up great pace there in the McLaren, and Matt Mars sitting in 4th place. Matt's had himself a solid days thus far.
Yeah, nice run. He's in the mellow yellow, so he's went from candy bars to soft drinks here this evening, Rich.
I'll take that.
In the livery that he's going to support. So we'll see how it works out for him right now. Currently, our top Pro-Am driver up 2 spots into 4th place, but he's got Chris Lashbrook right in behind him. Lashbrook did well at our second stop in Australia after the first one didn't quite go his way. So he's looking to build off that success here in Zolder.
Yeah, looking to go keep the hot streak alive, Chris, and so far so good. But we're very early in this race, folks. We're less than 3 minutes into this 45-minute race, only on lap 2. We're going to go, I don't know, about 30, maybe 31 laps. It all depends on pit cycles and what happens up front. But good battling up and down the pack. There's Joshua Dufresne. He's sitting in 33rd place right now. Josh Dufresne's got Paxton Frith in behind him. Paxton Frith up 3 positions. Joshua Dufresne up 1. In behind them, Adam Lowe dropped a bunch of positions early, looking to make them up.
Yeah, there we see Adam Lowe there now. Currently sitting 35th in the overall position, 10th in class, but yeah, down 9 spots where he qualified. It looks like Jody Nielsen into the pits early on too as well. So something happened. Oh, missing the front end of that Mercedes. That is definitely not going to be optimal settings there in that car.
I don't think at the best of times it's the best looking car, Rob. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
You don't like the look of the Mercedes?
It certainly doesn't look great now. No, I'm a mid-engine guy here in the GT3 classes. You know that by now. I mean, although the Mustang's kind of badass, but anyhow, I'm just not a big Merc fan from the looks of it. But that's because I'm old, folks. I'm ancient. On board here, taking a look at live racing new to GT3 racing here with us, at least as far as I can remember, and I haven't missed many here, folks. That's Kobe Baker, or sorry, Kobe Baker. I can't even read. It's Kobe Booker up in 12th place right now, right where he started. So far, so good. Having him a solid introduction to GT3 racing here in FMA.
Now welcome to him. Just behind him, we see a pass there by Dustin Wells, trying to make the move on Chad Simpson just ahead of him. Simpson able to hold him off, but that was a real late dive by Dustin Wells. Luckily, he's able to get the binders on quick enough, but now Anthony Jenkins going to try his hand at getting around Wells. There it is. Going to go around the long way around the outside there, Rich. Next move, Anthony Jenkins up 6 spots. Not the best qualifying for him here tonight. We're used to seeing him firmly up in the top 10.
Guessing he didn't get the track prep or have the track knowledge of Zolder that we're used to seeing out of Anthony, but he's making up for lost time. You know who else is Zachary Tankersley, 16th place right now. Zachary, Uncle Tank up in 9 positions already. So Jordan Probst back in 23rd place, up 12 positions. We got lots of people making some big gains. Nice to see. So it can be a little difficult to pass here, but several of our drivers have kind of figured that out thus far.
Yeah, we see Uncle Tank back in the Corvette as well here tonight, Rich. We got so used to seeing him in the Mustangs and the Astons. So we'll see if maybe he switches again next week or not for Road America.
Well, I think at Road America, you got to drive the American car, so he's got a choice of 2, right? I mean, it's the Corvette or it's the Mustang. There's no other car you can drive, Uncle Tank. Come on. But here, doing a great race, doing a great job. But thus far, we're early on here at Zolder is Uncle Tank. And so far, Rob, we're not going to give the commentators curse, but overall, it's been relatively clean. I mean, we've got Cody Deek having his issues, Jody Nielsen, Gustavo Ferraro, Connor Sturgos. But everybody else is underway and on the lead lap, and so far, so good.
There were a couple drivers that were out early on, and I promised I'd get back to that stuff here once things settle down a little bit. And we'll give it another minute or so here. Keep an eye on what's going on at the front, and then we'll go back and take a look at that lap 1 instance where we saw a number of drivers off the turn 1. They couldn't even make it through this up to this first chicane here, Rich. We had drivers off into turn 1, but Chris Lashbrook still trying to find a way around Matt Mars, but not able to do it so far. Mars been able to hold off the charge of our pro driver, Chris Lashbrook. So Matt doing what he needs to do. He's firmly ahead of second place in class, Anthony Barranco, sitting back in 7th place, and then Kyle Mavis, who's dominated the Pro-Am class to this point in the season, currently third in class, 10th overall, Rich. So let's see if maybe he can muster some speed to get himself up to the sharpest end of the field here in the Pro-Am class.
You know, there's something to be said for Team Admin Advantage. They're solid. They're 3rd and 4th place overall tonight, folks. That's what happens when you sponsor your own race. You get to pick the track that favors you. And nice to see the 2 teammates really taking advantage of that this evening.
Let's go a little farther back in the field here. Pick up Curtis Kinneker, one of the McLaren drivers from Mid-Motor Car here. Rich loves. Oh, he's throwing it up the inside of, I believe that was Aaron Siebens, going to force Aaron off track to make that move.
That looked like a Verstappen pass.
Eshelman and Siebens get together into the wall. They go. Oh man, Aaron Siebens' day went from bad to terrible in a matter of a couple quarters.
Oh yeah, and Eshelman's car looks just about ruined as well. But surprisingly, he didn't come into the pits, so that car doesn't look right, but it seems to be tracking relatively straight, so maybe looks can be deceiving.
Let's take a quick look at that before we go back and see. Oh, it was already wrecked there. Let's go back and see if we can take a look at how that all went down. So we see Siebens and Eshelman battling it out. Oh, Eshelman tried to stick it up the inside, which just wasn't enough room there, and around they went, and you see the after effects of it there. Yeah,
and a valiant effort, but ill-advised at that place and time. But back up the front, live racing, Alex Bahari has led this from the start, and Marshall Crocker Jr. is followed right along with him. They've got almost a 2-second gap to Chase Matsko in behind, and Chris Lashbrook is almost 3 seconds behind Chase. So they're starting to spread out for the podium positions, but these two drivers, based on past experience, I'd expect to see them kind of keep it close the whole race through unless somebody makes a big mistake.
Yeah, and who's sitting there waiting if there's a mistake, Rich? It's Chase Matsko. Actually, I should take a look and see. Tony Sorrentino messaged me earlier today and gave me a new nickname he wanted us to call Chase. I know Chase is...
It's not Mitsuko anymore?
no. Chesino Matsukawa is his name that they've given him now. I'm not sure what the backstory is on it, but there you go, Anthony Sorrentino. I got it on the broadcast for you. With Chase Matsko hold on to his third place qualifying position as where he started. He's opened up a gap over Lashbrook and Mars. He's got Crocker and Bahari still in sights there, so let's see if maybe Matsko can get himself a win here on the season. But we got moments here, Rich. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to kick everything off here to start the race.
Go back and look at the the instant replay at this start. Got off to a little bit of a slow start there. It looked like Adam Lowe is just lining it up, but what happens? Oh, this is at the first chicane. Yeah,
my apologies. It was flagging everybody for slowing down for the chicane on the pace lap here.
Oh, that was a pace lap.
So there's Ryder Poe was the first one off. And then while he was off, it looked like something happening behind you. Carter Sturgis. Let's see Sturgis here in the blue and white Corvette is heading into the first chicane. I think that's Kyle Mavis. Dives up the inside. Sturgis up over the curb. He's going to spin around. And then he's going to actually roll off track. So everybody's going to get through. Much cars just flagged for a slowdown. And then I think Adam Lowe had something afterwards here. He and I think that might be Justin Welsh to his inside. Welsh going to go. Oh, he gets tagged in the right rear quarter. I'm not sure which one of the. Looks like that was one of the Mustangs there potentially on the inside. So rough start there. That's how Adam Lowe got down those 9 spots you were mentioning, Rich.
Yeah, it was. He was going a little slower than the car behind him, but unfortunate for Adam. So he's made up a bunch of the positions already, though. He's only down 4 positions from where he started. So he seems to have things underway rather well with no damage. Take a look here at Anthony Barenko. Anthony Barenko sitting in 8th place right now, up 2 positions. Anthony Barenko, so far so good for him. He's got well, another Anthony, Tony Sorrentino in behind him, about 3/4 of a second back. So we got Anthony and Anthony battling it out here, folks, for 8th place.
Yeah, Tony meet Tony. The battle of the Tonys. Right now, it's Barenko that's winning that battle. Let's go back. Ryder Poe, who we just saw, went off in turn 1. The youngster, the 14-year-old, trying to work his way back through the field. He's now back up to 21st place. Looks like Adam Lowe, something else happened to him again off track. He's going to lose a number of spots. There goes Eshelman by him now. Braxton Frith through 2 as well. So going from a bad day going to a terrible day here for Adam Lowe.
Yeah, that's not what you want the FR Racing driver. Not having his favorite day, but looks having a good race. Another FR Racing driver. That's Bahari up front and still holding off Marshall Crocker Jr. That gap's been relatively consistent, anywhere between 1/4 second and 1/2 second all race long. I think Marshall Crocker Jr. is not. I don't think he's overly pushing and trying to make moves just yet, folks. We've still got 2/3 of this race left, more than 2/3 of this race left. Lots of time to go. No sense putting yourself in jeopardy this early. We still got pit stops. They're going to be coming in for fuel, as Rob said earlier in our opener, and lots of time to make some advances. But very good job here by Chase Matsko. He's a couple seconds behind the leaders, 4 seconds up ahead of 4th place Chris Lashbrook, as we see some dust and dirt coming around that last corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was that went flying off track there, Rich. Trying to look and see Broughton Jones went to the pits, but I don't think it was him. I think it was somebody else. But let's take a look and see here what happened to Broughton Jones. See if he had a little help. There he is in the BMW. I think what we saw was a little farther down the track than that. Yeah, he's going to go off track. It looks like Joshua Dufresne went off track too as well. So let's see for him. You get the onboard there, but that is another spot of the track too as well. So I'm not sure who caused all that smoke at the pit entrance there, Rich, but it wasn't either one of these drivers.
Well, you know, that's the alternate racing line Joshua Dufresne took, and caused a little bit of an off track, but in no damage. Keep the car under control, keep it off the wall. That's what's important, folks. Take a look here at Chad Simpson, 15th place, up one position. Welcome, Chad, and nice to have you here racing with us, doing a solid effort here with Dustin Wells and the Big Cheese riding shotgun with Dustin Wells, sitting there in 16th place. So Chad Simpson, a solid effort in the Porsche, and one of the faster Porsches out there today as we take a look at Dustin Wells getting that move done, but no, with a switchback. Yes, with a switchback, and that move is not done. So a little good battling going on here in the mid-pack, Rob.
Yeah, it's a couple times now we've seen Dustin Wells really try and late break that corner, and it hasn't worked for him either time. So I think he's going to need to reevaluate his brake marker on that corner, Rich. It doesn't seem to be working out for him, as that time he lost the spot to Jacob Williams, who we've seen have a very good season to this point. 4 races into it, this one being race number 5 in the AM class. Took the win last week, and I think, if I remember correctly, I think he told us he didn't even own this track, Rich. So looks like he went to work learning the track here, and right now got himself up into 16th place.
You know, guys who can like buy the track and then just hop on and turn good laps like that, Rob. I'm not fans of those guys, because it just makes me realize how inept I am. But it's solid effort, Jacob Williams. I'd like to see how things are progressing with it. You're doing well with that, your first victory, if I'm going by memory, last week, and solid effort this week. So Jacob Williams got Dustin Wells in behind him, and Chad Simpson up ahead of him. So kind of the sandwich right now in this train. The driver's coming through another one of the chicanes, going around the big sweeper here, and coming up to turn 8, which is kind of that tough right-hander, more than 90 degrees. And leading back towards the pit straight, and one more little chicane to go, and then this lap will be complete. We're on lap 12 here, folks. Looking about 31 to go here.
Oh man, we got a pile up here. Jibin Bejoy, Justin Moskowitz getting back on track. I think that was Jeremy Eschman too as well. No, he's on through it. Curtis Kinnicker makes his way through. PJ Wentline going to find his way through, but let's take a look and see what happened there between Jim Bejoy here. I think Aaron Siebens involved too as well. 3 cars. I think Moskowitz might have been just a bystander at this point. Ooh, late on the brakes. That was Warped Esports on Warped Esports crime there, Rich.
Ouch. There's going to be a little team meeting after the, I don't know who the team principal of Warped Esports is, but they're not going to be too pleased with that one.
Yeah, they're not sure who that Corvette was. That's the 756 of Aaron Siebens that really threw it up the inside there. Unfortunately for him, didn't work out, so rough race for Aaron Siebens.
Yeah, rough race, and unfortunately, that one team's going to have a lot of repairs to do. The bill is going to be huge, and they're not splitting it with any other teams. But back onto live racing here. Anthony Branco, 7th place, still holding off the other Anthony, Tony Sorrentino. Right up real close. Alex Jacobson, he's falling a little bit behind. Oh, no, a little bit of oop, but not a lot of oh. And Branco holding off. Oh, Branco going way wide. That's letting Jacobson close right down with the way these 2 drivers up ahead of him are battling. Jacobson's just chomping now. He's just thinking, this is my time. A little bit further up the field here at Macon Gazzoni. He's gotten by Matt Mars. Matt Mars down to 6th place now. So Matt Mars, where he started, still leading in Pro-Am category, but's fallen in a couple positions. We saw him as high as 4th earlier.
Yeah, I'm surprised he actually gave up that spot to Lashbrook and Gazzoni. That's dropped him back closer to Barranco, the 2nd place driver in Pro-Am classes. See a cloud of smoke. The drivers are making the way through there now. So we'll see here if Barranco can get around the other Tony, Anthony Sorrentino. But we saw Sorrentino really throwing a dive up on the inside of Bronco. Looks like he's been able to get around now. Now it's Jacobson going to try and find his way around Anthony Bronco. So we'll see here now if Bronco can hold them off and try and mount a charge on Matt Mars, or if Matt Mars just loving what he's seen in his mirrors. He'd love to see Bronco and Jacobson battle it out here for a number of laps so he can open that gap back up again.
Yeah, I think about 17 more laps would make me happy if I was in the position of Matt Mars right now. Look how close Alex Jacobson's getting to Anthony Bronco now. Jacobson, where he started, but I think he's got this track figured out now because he's really starting to apply some pressure, turning some decently quick lap times as of late. So Alex Jacobson falling along behind Anthony Bronco, but all that battling, Tony Sorrentino's loving that. Tony Sorrentino's starting to walk away. He's almost 2 seconds up the road, and up ahead of him, we got Matt Mars almost 2 seconds ahead. But these two, the closest battle on the track, Alex Jacobson, Anthony Bronco. We've got Ferrari versus Ferrari. We'll see who's the victor in a little bit.
Yeah, it's Ferrari versus Ferrari versus Ferrari versus Ferrari in this battle here between Bronco, Jacobson, and then Mavis and Booker closing in on them there. As you see Mavis, is he's tucked in behind Jacobson, and then Booker not too far back in the other Ferrari, although he's bringing Mark Nelson and then Anthony Jenkins up too as well. I said Jenkins, not the greatest qualifying for him, Rich, but he's got himself up 7 spots into 13th place, so he's slowly working his way through the field. It's just a matter of how far he can get to the front. Still plenty of time, as we still have a little over half of the race left to go here. So we still got time to make it up through, plus they have the pit stop as well. The pit stop strategy is going to be interesting. You're probably well aware, Rich, the track that you like as much as I do. It's a tough pit entry here at Zolder. You really have to get onto the brakes quick, and then it's almost like another chicane in the pit road to get yourself into the pits.
You know, I was in another league racing at this track one time, and I came into the pits in my Formula car, and one of the pro drivers who I was somehow ahead of decided to come in right behind me, and he didn't realize how difficult it was, Rob, and yeah, he destroyed me on pit entry, and I wasn't slow, folks. I was fast for once. They just missed the braking marker, so it's certainly going to be interesting when these drivers come into the pits. We'll see who did their homework and who did not, because this isn't one of the easier tracks at pit entry. But back to live racing here. We're getting into traffic soon, folks. Alex Bahari, Marshall Crocker Jr., they've got a 5-second gap to Chase Matsko. I forget his new name, but we'll call you Chase for now. Yeah, or Chase Silla, because I can't. There's too many names. He's got too many names that when you're that good, you know, you get all the glory. But up ahead of Bahari, we've got I believe it's Jody Nielsen. So Jody Nielsen up ahead of him, and Cody Deek and Joshua DeFreen. So just another half lap or so, or actually maybe just another corner or two. They're going to be catching up to him. It's a matter of how are they going to negotiate through here. How easy is going to be to get by these guys up ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that Marshall Crocker went back from the Acura this week, Rich. We saw him take the Acura out at Spa to try and prove a point that
because he's a big talker. He's a big talker, and anybody can talk the talk, Marshall. But like, let's walk the walk, man. Come on. I'm calling it out now. I'm getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's all right. Marshall Crocker, part of the Racer Nexus family here. He was the producer and lead commentator on the LMP2 GTP season for FMA last season. And then he's going to be picking up HPR on Thursday nights here coming up in, I guess it's actually next week kicks off. So, but right now he's dealing with some racing. As you mentioned, they are into lap traffic here now. Oh, Crocker around. That's going to give a big gap up to Bahari. Matsko now. Chesino Matsukawa going to try and move around Marshall Crocker here. Chase licking his lips when he saw that happen. He's not going to make the move here. This lap traffic might play right into Chase's advantage.
You know what? That if he was driving that Acura, the Acura would not have spun there, Rob. I'm just saying that. I mean, that's my opinion, but my opinion's right. Chase Matsko coming into the pits, diving into the pits. I thought maybe he'd tuck him behind and try and really put some pressure on Crocker, but no, Chase Matsko is saying now's the time for me to get my pit strategy done, my pit lane, get my fuel, maybe calm the nerves a little bit and get ready for the second half of this race.
You know what? I think that's the move. He saw that they were coming into some heavier traffic. he saw what happened to Marshall Crocker as he was trying to make his way through the traffic. We'll take a look here exactly what happened to Marshall in a minute. So I think it's probably a smart move by Chase. Dive out of the traffic, get yourself in. Maybe, just maybe, you can find yourself a little bit of clean air, although I'm looking at my track map here, Rich, and other than maybe looks like turn 5, 6 area on the backside of the track, it's pretty much littered with cars the whole way around.
Yeah, it's 40 car field will do that, folks. They're turning about a minute 27, 28, and minute 27 to minute 30. Take a look at the replay here. Crocker coming around and everything's good there. Gets on the throttle and just nowhere to go. And
you know what that was, Rich? Take another look here again at it. Just watch. It's going to be the ever so slightest touch on the rear bumper, and then iRacing. It just spins you around. I've been bitching about this for years, asking them to change it and fix it. It's such a physics fail that
Acura's don't do that, Rob. That's a Ferrari thing.
You just give a little tap on the bumper of a car ahead of you, and for some reason it causes all rear grip of your car to be gone, and I've seen that far too often, and it's terrible. I wish they would fix that. It's probably one of the worst physics gaffes in the game right there. But Timothy Dunn, a newer driver to the league, I can't remember if we saw him last week or not, but he's got himself up 17 spots here, Rich. Only down on most spots. Only down on most spots gained to Steven Zabster at 22 and Jordan Popst at 22 as well, but Jordan just popped into the pits. So nice welcome into the league here for Timothy Dunn, if it is in fact his first race. I think it's the first race of the season for him, but nice run for him.
Yeah, it's a solid effort, isn't it? I mean, great job, Timothy, and nice to see the Aston being represented by the sole lone driver of Timothy Dunn, sitting P4 in class right now, folks. You can see that on the screen. I don't have to tell you, but a solid effort for Timothy Dunn as he's following along behind Faraz Ibrahim in the Acura. Yes, we have another Acura. We have an Acura out here, and Faraz representing and doing well up in 9 positions and 3rd in class right now in amateur. Solid drive.
I'm gonna throw my support behind Faraz for this race now, Rich, being our lone Acura driver. I'm not the biggest fan of the Acura driver. I just like seeing somebody drive something that nobody else is driving.
Yes.
So hats off to Faraz for doing that. But we have an Audi in the field too as well. Nathan Fuller, he drove the Audi I think last week at Spa 2 as well. So hats off to him for driving the Audi. Love listening to that thing humming around the track. No Lambos this season. I don't think we've seen one at all so far, Rich. So that's kind of sad that we haven't seen that. But Anthony Bronco and Alex Jacobson, they're going to go on one more lap. But Harry and Marshall Crocker both came in to get their pit stop done this time by. So we'll see what kind of fuel savings that Bronco and Jacobson have been able to muster here, Rich. If it's going to come out to their advantage here, or that savings they've had to done might be their detriment. But Bahari and Marshall Crocker into their stalls. Bahari done his stop. He's out and running. Ryder Poe going to go one more lap. He's the driver that we saw, unfortunately, in turn 1, lap 1, have that incident. So he's trying to recoup those spots lost.
Yeah, and and the drivers who have pitted there, Alex Bahari, Marshall Crocker Jr., Chase Matsko is still in there, but he's dropped 3.5 seconds back now from Marshall Crocker Jr. So Chris Lashbrook about a second and a half behind him. So things have tightened up a little bit in there, but Bahari off to a nice 5-second lead over Marshall Crocker Jr. thanks in part to that little tap and spin Marshall had earlier. So once everybody gets through their pit cycles, we'll have a little more information, but I predict that Alex Bahari is going to have himself a few second lead, and Crocker Jr. is going to have his work cut out for. Whoa! Getting out of the way there was Ryder Poe, I believe, and well done, but certainly made it interesting using all the track, a little bit of the grass, but certainly avoiding the leaders. Thank you very much, Ryder.
Yeah, I think Ryder went off track, got a slowdown here, and he would have got the slowdown there, and then went off track over that turtle curb into the wall.
Well, that's one way to give space, though. I mean, you know that's one way to do it, folks. I've done it that way many times myself, but Alex Bahari coming around to take the lead here once again. Everybody else in the pits, Branco in the pits, Jacobson in the pits, Ryder Poe in the pits. So everybody's now made or making their regularly scheduled pit stop.
And I was having a look at the pit stop times here, trying to figure out where Chase lost the time. He was quicker on and off pit road, and he was quicker in his stall than Marshall, but it seems like he lost about a second and a half, maybe even 2 seconds, somewhere along the lines there, Rich.
That's a tricky entry, before the cones. So maybe in there, maybe in a little bit of traffic because he came in a lap earlier. So maybe he just encountered traffic that Marshall didn't. So who knows? But anyway, solid effort, Chase. Third place in the McLaren. Chase Matsko doing a great job at his track that he picked in the Marines car.
I just noticed something, Rich. We got to get this on camera. Chase threw the Racer Nexus on the hood there. Well, I guess it'd be the bonnet because it's a British car and the engine's in the back where the hood would actually be. So there we go. Chase with the Marines paint job on the car representing Racer Nexus. Thank you, Chase. That'll give even more TV time.
Yeah, we can be bribed, folks, and it doesn't take much. A little logo, maybe PayPal a little bit here or there, a shout out. We're cheap and easy, but Chase Matsko, solid drive this evening.
You see there, he gained on lap 17, 18 to Marshall Crocker. He actually gained that last lap on Crocker too as well. So we'll see now, maybe after the pit stops are done, Chase has got his tires equalized again after that stop. See if he can try and mount a charge here on Marshall Crocker. See if maybe the McLaren is a little better on the longer run as we're nearing 14 minutes left to go in this race, Rich. So we're on the back half of the things.
Well, I mean, even if it's not better on the back half, it's better looking. That's just a gorgeous car. I mean, I'm just saying it, folks. I'm just saying it. Yeah, I know Ferrari makes some really special ones, but give me that McLaren. But I love watching that. Up over the curbs, a little bit of hop, skip, a little bit of a jump. Is Matt Mars. Matt Mars with Alex Jacobson behind him now. Matt Mars sitting in 7th. He's dropped to 2nd in class now. Anthony Barranco got ahead of him through the pit cycle. Matt Mars was almost 2 seconds slower in his stall and closer to 3 seconds cone to cone to Anthony Barranco. Anthony Barranco up to 1st and 6th place. Matt Mars 7th. Matt Mars holding off Jacobson though. Jacobson in 8th.
And remember, Barranco and Jacobson were those two drivers we saw able to milk out an extra lap of fuel here, Rich. So it looks like it worked out to their advantage. As you mentioned, Barranco was able to get ahead of Mars through the pit cycle, but hopefully he was able to take enough fuel on in that stop to get him to the end. So we'll see how it works out here. It looks like Mars now under pressure from Jacobson as he looked to the inside, trying to make the move on Matt Mars, but Jacobson gonna have to settle for 8th place right now and try and find another way around that McLaren of Matt Mars.
Yeah, I'm hoping Anthony Barranco did get enough fuel because outside of Jeremy Ashleman, nobody's even close to him in terms of time in the pit stall. So he either saved a lot of fuel, or he's done a little better calculating than others, or the alternative. Let's hope it's not the alternative. We want to see some good racing all the way to the finish, folks. Take a look here. Adam Brady in 17th place. Adam Brady with Nathan Fuller behind him. So Brady's up 4 positions. Nathan Fuller up 20 positions on the day, folks. 20 positions in that Audi. The Audi's got some pace.
Doing well as he looks to the inside of Adam Brady. Give him 22 positions, or 21 positions, sorry. Now Rich is going to try and work on 22. Brady trying to fight back to the outside, but not going to be able to do it. But up ahead of them, we got Kyle Mavis, who's dropped down to 4th place now. Came in leading the Pro-Am points. Looks like he's going to have that gap closing down a little bit here on him unless he can find a way to get up there, get around Dustin Wells and the Big Cheese and Matt Mars and Anthony Barranco. So there's some chatter in the Discord the last couple of weeks. Some drivers wanted Mavis bumped up into the pro class, and looks like maybe things are going to come back to them a little bit here after this week's results, if they finish the way it stands right now.
Well, though, you can always just slow down for a race or two if people get up the heat onto you too much. But I don't think Kyle Mavis is that kind of a racer. Kyle Mavis is certainly doing all he can. Hey, take a look at the team stats there for admin advantage, folks. 3rd, 8th, 10th. Solid effort for the people who put on the show week in, week out. Rob and I do the broadcasts, and but the people who run this league, those are the people, folks. And hey, they're having themselves a solid race this evening.
They certainly are. Mark Nelson sitting 8th in class, 10th overall, just firmly into that top 10 spot. But I'm just having a look at timing and scoring. It looks like something might have happened to Matt Mars, our 2nd place Pro-Am driver. Let's see what happened to him. I see him flagged as a crash here. So there he is in the mellow yellow machine. Is he going to get bitten by one of the curbs here? Oh, just got into the throttle a little too heavy. He's going to spin it around. That allows Jacobson to get by. He's going to open up that gap to Barranco. He's going to stay ahead of the Big Cheese and Dustin Wells, but luckily for Mars, he had enough of a gap over Anthony Jenkins. He ended up only just losing the one spot.
Yeah, very fortunate. Hey, Rob, but do you know that expression, if it's mellow, let it yellow, or if it's yellow, let it mellow? Every time I see mellow yellow, which, hey, I don't think we have here in Canada, but I love it, and I've had it many times. That's the phrase I think of as we take a look at Anthony Jenkins in 9th place. Anthony Jenkins, and now we're taking a look on board, or not on board, at the in-car camera. And a little bit of a TV cam view. Going through the chicane is Joshua Dufresne in 29th place. So down a lap from the leaders now at this stage, but still having a solid drive. 8th place in class and continuing on as a critical racing driver.
Yeah, he's tried sharing his camera with us the last couple of weeks, but things haven't went his way. So he looks like he's got it sorted out here tonight, Rich, but unfortunately not having maybe a race he would have envisioned. But he's up 5 spots into 29th place. What's that?
Wait a second here. It looks like he's got a McLaren banner behind him.
He does.
And he's driving a Ferrari, Rob.
That's his McLaren Formula One team, though.
Well, hey,
different allegiances. Different allegiances, Rich.
Well, I guess if Verstappen can drive a Mercedes in GT3, he can drive a Ferrari. Okay.
Yeah, see, and Verstappen drove a Ferrari before, and I think he tried the Aston as well. When they were picking out GT3 cars they wanted to run. So yeah, you drive whatever you want, Rich. Speaking of driving, Alex Bahari has been driving the wheels off that car since the drop of the green flag. A little bit of breathing space after Marshall Crocker had that whoopsie moment. Crocker sitting comfortably about 4.8 seconds back. He's got a couple lap cars between he and Bahari, and then Chesinu Matsukawawa.
Oh, man. You keep saying that because I can't. I'll just call him Chase Mitsuko. There we go.
Currently sitting in 3rd place. Got himself comfortably in the podium position, 2 seconds ahead of Chris Lashbrook, although Lashbrook's slowly starting to close that gap here. Let's take a look at the delta between these two drivers. So currently sitting at about 2 seconds. You see there, dipping down below 2 seconds as they enter into the corners. Lashbrook a little later onto the brakes, but then McLaren and Matsko able to harness that power, that McLaren you love, Rich, to get out of the corners and open that gap back up.
Yeah, it's the field spread out a little bit more up the front than I thought we would see here at the confines of Zolder, but I think that goes to show you. Crocker Jr. with that little incident there earlier, and those big chicanes, just one little slip up can cost you many seconds, maybe get the car off balance and cause a little bit of a spin. As we look at the inset here at Jacob Williams. Jacob Williams is looking to get by Adam Brady. We got some good close racing back in the midfield, folks. That's for 17th position. So well into this race. We've only got just over 7 minutes left, and they're still battling hard. They're battling hard up a little closer to the front as well, with Alex Jacobson falling along behind Anthony Barenko, and it looks like a Macon Gazzoni. So we got a little 3-way battle here going on for 5th place.
Yeah, Gazzoni, one of the Apex Hunter team drivers. Take a look and see how their team is doing here this evening. Rich, only the 2 drivers, Gustavo Ferrari. Oh, not sure what happened there in behind. Looks like Bronco might have had a slowdown bail to the side, and Jacobson almost got into the back of them, but Gazzoni and Gustavo Ferraro holding down the Apex Hunters team here tonight. Currently sitting in 5th place for Gazzoni, and Gustavo Ferraro, he was out early on. Looks like he's gonna finish up in P39 tonight, Rich.
Yeah, that's not the race Gustavo wanted, but we've seen him have some good results here in FMA. We hope to see him get back on that train very soon. Take a look here at a replay of what happened with Alex Jacobson here. Jacobson having him getting by. Yeah, I think he must have had a slowdown. It almost looks like he let him, no?
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of bailed out, but normally you move off the race line. If you're going to do that, you don't just lift off right on the race line so the driver behind you has nowhere to go. But thankfully they've been able to make their way through. But we got a battle here between Adam Brady, Jacob Williams, and Ryder Poe. Poe going to try and make his way around Brady. Brady trying to fight back, and then our AM leader, Jacob Williams, just kind of sitting there watching everything unfold. We've seen him do this the last couple of weeks here, Rich. He's kind of gets out there by himself, doesn't really push the envelope. If guys are battling ahead of him in another class, he doesn't really worry about it much. As we see now, Poe going to lose that spot to Brady as he's going to move back around him. So those two drivers can continue to jockey for position.
You know, you said that, and I'm like, well, wait a second. He's not the lead. It's Dustin Wells is in the lead in AM, but I forgot Dustin Wells got promoted, and I didn't update my system. So Jacob Williams having another solid race, and nice to see he's firmly entrenched. We take a look a little further up here at Macon Gazzoni in the beautiful yellow Corvette, and that's the color all racing Corvettes should be, folks, yellow. I'm just saying it. I'll call it the way I see it. I'm an old man. I go back to the Ron Fellows and the C5R days. That's the car you want to be driving if you're driving a Corvette, is a yellow racing Corvette. Alex Jacobson in behind him, though. Really, Alex Jacobson's getting things going here. Half a second behind. We're on lap at 28. We're going to start lap 29 shortly. We've got 4.5 minutes left to go in this race. We'll see if Jacobson can get by Gazzoni.
He's trying hard. We saw him almost get wrapped up with Barranco not long ago, but speaking of Barranco, Matt Mars starting to close that gap in a little bit. That slowdown that Anthony Barranco got that allowed Jacobs to get by kind of brought Matt Mars back into it a little bit. I think Matt Mars is going to run out of time, though, as we're only 4 minutes left in this one. So you only got about 3 more laps to go here, Rich. So time the enemy here for Matt Mars after what was looking like maybe a win in Pro-Am class. He might have to settle for the second step on the podium.
Yeah, you know what? Matt's always a positive person, but I think he'll be a little disappointed if that happens, if he ends up in second, because he's had some pace from the get-go in practice, certainly in qualifying and in racing. One little mistake, though, cost him the victory, or at least that's what looks like what is going to happen. But there's still time left. Anything can happen. You don't wish the ill will on anybody, but hey, you know, I kind of do if I'm in second and the guy in first is too far for me to catch. But you know, you don't say it out loud, folks, but I'll say it.
And well, those mistakes happen to the best of us too as well. Marshall Crocker Jr., as we've seen, has been fairly dominant all season. He had that spin as well, Rich. So top to bottom, nobody's safe here from the curbs at Zolder. We saw Ryder Poe hopping over one of those turtle curbs. Probably got a little bit of floor damage on his car from it. So not only do you have to deal with the high curbing and the chicanes, but if you go over the chicanes or over the curbs in some spots where you get those yellow turtle curbs, it'll damage the bottom of your car, kind of similar to like what they have at Fuji out of that final corner.
Well, don't even talk about that final corner of Fuji, Rob. That's just brutal. The big sausage curbs, I wouldn't even call them sausage curbs. They're almost like brick walls. But hey, you know what's going on here? Chase Matsko is Chris Lashbrook had been closing that gap down, but Chase Matsko looks like he's got it opened up back up, and now over 3-second gap to Lashbrook behind. So Chase Matthew continue to soldier on and looking in a solid place for a podium finish. Chris Lashbrook still hoping for maybe a mistake and take advantage of it, but so far so good for Chase Matsko.
And I'm sure Chase will be happy with a P3 if he can bring that home that way. But go back a little bit further, we saw Ryder Poe was battling with Adam Brady. He's fallen back a little bit, so the youngster had some speed in qualifying, sat it up near the sharp end of the field here, Rich. Had that incident, but he's been unable to work his way back up through the field. Macon Gazzoni is still trying to hold off Alex Jacobson, but Jacobson closing that gap now. It's only about 3/10 between them. Last time we checked in, it was hovering around a second or so, Rich. So They're going to have 2 laps to go here as they cross the line. We'll see if Jacobson has time to mount the charge. Oh, there it is. Gazzoni gets loose. And around he goes.
Oh, wow. Oh. Macon Gazzoni trying to get out of the way, almost made it worse, but back underway. Unfortunately for Macon Gazzoni, down in 7th place now. Got himself a couple positions.
Yeah, let's take a look at what happened there. Coming through turn 1. Ooh, the back end of the Corvette just got a little loose, a little twitch and wiggle, and around he went. But luckily for, I think that was Lashbrook and one of the lap cars coming through there, they were able to get through without getting into him. So Gazzoni only going to lose, looks like only 2 spots out of that, Rich, so it could have been worse.
Certainly could have. Yeah, it looked like he got up on the nose, then caught the curb, and that's all she wrote. But, well, you know what? Who's not all she wrote is Alex Behary coming through the last couple of corners. Looking to Barney. Barney, are you there? Barney, can you see me? I'm coming around here, Barney. Don't see Barney, but Alex Behary gets the white flag here. Got 1 lap to go here. And he's got himself a big gap to Marshall Crocker Jr. He's got 4.5 seconds and then some. All he's got to do is avoid the lap traffic, folks. And this is Behary's to take. And Behary's tiptoeing through the traffic now, getting by Moskowitz, making sure there's no mistakes. You've led this far. You don't want to blow it by getting impatient when you've got such a big gap behind you.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened that last lap, Rich, but basically every battle that we had that was only about half a second to a second apart, they're all 1.5, 2 seconds apart now. So this last couple laps, it's just gonna really thrown a wrench in the field. Everybody just on conservation mode, trying to limit any damage, get it back to the checker flag. And Alex Behary now halfway around his lap. He's got a couple lap cars up ahead of him. As you said, comfortable gap over Marshall Crocker Jr., so no need to force the issue here. It's only a minute 27 laps, so not a whole lot of time. He's giving the old razzle-dazzle to the lap cars, though, letting them know he's coming through. But the 47 of, who is that? That is Jibin Bajoy. Not going to be too worried about it. He and Faraz Ibrahim are battling it out for position.
Yeah, I think Alex Behary realizes that what's at stake there and kind of backed off because there's no sense pushing it. These guys are battling position. It's not going to cost you anything to sit right behind them because you've got such a lead over Marshall Crocker Jr. Alex Behary, our race victor. Marshall Crocker Jr. going to come across in second. 3rd place. What's his name, Rob? What's his name?
Jacinu Matsukawa. Chase Batsko going to come home in 3rd. Chris Lashbrook outside looking in at a podium position. Alex Jacobson. Oh, look at this team formation here between Jacobson and who else we got? I think that's Dustin Wells possibly there too as well. They're going to cross the line. Anthony Barranco going to come home with the win in Pro-Am. Matt Maher is going to have to settle for 2nd spot in class. And then Dustin Wells, the big cheese. Oh, it wasn't Wells that came across the line, but Dustin Wells and the big cheese. Right now, if he can hold off Kyle Mavis through the next couple corners, he's going to get that final step on the podium, Rich.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Continuing on, here we go. Dustin Wells coming across at 13th place, and Kyle Mavis in 14th. So, strong race thus far. This has been a strong race, but you know what's a strong race? He was strong last week, folks. He's strong again this week. Jacob Williams, whoa, that's not where you crash. You still got a couple hundred yards to go here. Adam Lowe into the wall, heavy damage. That car's gonna crab across the line. He's definitely got a meatball.
He does. There comes Faraz Ibrahim. He's going to take 2nd spot in AM class. And Alex Berger and Stebo, who were finished up a lap down, going to finish out in 23rd overall, but 3rd in class for him. So here we go, Rich. Heck of a race here at Zolder. Actually surprised we didn't see more attrition than we did in the race here this evening.
I think you and me both, Rob. We had a little bit of attrition, and we certainly got it with the shorter laps here. And and the difficulty of driving this course. People had some, we had some people a lap or 2 laps down, but overall, we finished with a lot more people than I thought we would.
We did. Let's take a look at the results here. Let's start with our pro class. Taking the win, Alex Bahari over Marshall Crocker Jr. and Chase Matsko going to round out the podium. Chris Lashbrook comes home in 4th. Alex Jacobson rounding out the top 5 with Macon Gazzoni, Anthony Jenkins, Kobe Booker, Mark Nelson, and Chad Simpson running out the top 10. Ryder Poe in 11th. Jordan Probst in 12th. Anthony Sorrentino in 13th. And Uncle Tank going to round out the top 14. And actually, that's all 14 drivers in the Pro class. How'd things finish up in Pro-Am, Rich?
Well, in Pro-Am, Anthony Branco managed to get by and hold off Matt Mars. So Anthony Branco first, we had Matt Mars second. Dustin Wells with his co-pilot, the Big Cheese, in 3rd. 4th place goes to Kyle Mavis. Nathan Fuller representing the Audi in 5th. We had Adam Brady in 6th. Steven Zapster starting at the back, got himself up to 7th. Timothy Dunn in the Aston 8th. Jeremy Eschman 9th. Paxton Frith at 10th. 11th place, Jody Nielsen, and Gustavo Ferraro and Connor Sturgos. They had their issues.
Yeah, it was early on for them. Over in AM class, we see Jacob Williams going back-to-back winners in weeks here. He's going to take the win over Faraz Ibrahim and Stebo in the big, or sorry, not the Big Cheese. Stebo and Alex Berger in the 3rd place. 4th goes to Mark Hosier with Curtis Kinnicker rounding out the top 5. Jim Bejoy in 6th. Justin Moskowitz in 7th. Joshua Dufresne in 8th. 9th goes to PJ Wentline. It looks like it worked out well for him, Rich. He didn't grid up, start from the pits. He's going to finish up 9th in class. Adam Lowe, Cody Deek, Aaron Siemens, and Broughton Jones round out the field of our AM drivers. We'll get to the drivers in the booth here in a minute, but first, we didn't get a chance to touch on the Teams Championship coming to this one, so quickly, Iron Horse Motorsports comes in with a 3-point lead over Threshold Motorsports, and mid-advantage in 3rd place, 40 points back. But look at that battle from about 4th to about 8th place, Rich. Only separated by a couple points there amongst those teams. So mid-pack battle in the teams shaping up to be a good one here to the end of the season.
Certainly is. And look like FR Racing has 3 teams. They got FR Racing the first. We got 3 generations. FR Racing the first, the second, and the third, Rob. So nice to see all the teams having their competitions and how close this field is.
Absolutely, and let's get to the interviews now. Let's first bring in our winner. Alex Bahari is going to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hey Alex, congratulations on you got pole position. You let it start to finish, except for when you were in the pits. So you got to be pleased.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It was a tough one.
Marshall was applying a fair amount of pressure on you. For quite some time until he had that little tap there and spun around. But after that, you managed to just maintain that pace. How was getting through traffic there? Zolder's pretty tight.
It's a little tricky because there's nowhere really to overtake there. And we're all in the same type of cars. So I was just trying to be patient and not wreck myself and the others.
It was funny. Rob and I were watching you make your last lap, and as Rob likes to call it, you gave the guys a lap down, the little razzle dazzle with the headlights. And then I think at some point you realized, wait a second, I got 4 seconds on Marshall. Maybe I'll just sit here, let them battle it out, and not risk anything. Is that kind of the way it went?
Yeah, I just backed off there at the end. I was like, there's no point in me trying to ruin their race, trying to get by them, especially with that.
Or ruin yours, but. You've had some great success in your limited time here, Alex. What do you attribute that to? Is that lots of practice, or you seem to fit right in, though?
Probably just practice. I wasn't really familiar with this track. I only bought it a few days ago. But I'd been away.
There's another one of them, Rob.
Yeah, I was away on a vacation trip like for 3 weeks up until like last week, so I had to really break off the rust. But shout out to my buddies who throw up practice sessions for us.
Well, you shook off the rust, you figured it out, and next week we're going to Road America. And what do you think of that? A little more familiar?
That's a fun one. That's a fun one.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do there, Alex. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yes, sir. Shout out to the guys at FR Racing for showing up tonight and racing their hearts out. Shout out to everyone here who made the race happen. Shout out to the broadcast team for doing a great job with the broadcasts. And shout out to Ferrari for making such a beautiful car.
And you know what? Shout out to your photographer for making such a great driver profile pic of you. I'll just give you a shout out there as well. Alex, congratulations. Maybe we'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
It was race winner Alex Bahari. Let's bring in the. Oh, I saw him. There he is. Let's bring in the man that was trying to chase him down, but unfortunately he got caught by the iRacing physics bug where you give a little tap on the rear bumper of the car ahead of you, and iRacing decides you should lose all grip, spin around, and basically ruin your race. Marshall Crocker, you gave it a shot there. Unfortunately, things didn't quite work out for you, but P2, not that bad.
Yeah, I'll take it. You know, it is what it is. It was kind of about as ho-hum of a 45-minute drive. Well, I have a 25-minute end of the drive, I guess you could say. Yeah, it was going to be a lot of fun. I was liking just kind of tucking in behind, kind of trying to pick my spots. All right, where am I quick? Where's he quick? I was piecing it together. I think that could have been one of the all-time great kind of battles to the end there in that second stint. He, as usual, like I'm, you know, getting too much time somewhere in pit stops. I'm always about a second and a half slower in the pit cycle. So would have had a bit of a gap to make up, but I think I seem to have the pace to do it. Just a frustrating one. You know, it is what it is. But you know, I had it kind of go my way at St. Pete, the weird iRacing collision. So there you go. I guess we're even.
The Acura wouldn't have spun there, Marshall.
That's what I was just going to, Rich. I was going to say we were talking about we were disappointed you went back from the Acura back to the Ferrari. We were hoping you were going to stick with the Acura, but we head to Road America next week. Are we going to see you in the Ferrari again, or are you going to try your hand at a different car?
Oh, we're back to full time. It's going to be the Ferrari the rest of the year. The Acura, I was complaining last week. First of all, it broke the all-time streak. It was the first week I've ever not talked to you guys in the broadcast booth. I was lost. I was lost with myself. But no, it's boring bad. The Acura, the way I described it, is it's bad in a boring way. I thought it was going to be a little bit off the pace, but in kind of a fun, technical, you get to learn it way. It wasn't. So there's been a little bit of talk. I think some of the guys kind of missed the Mustang, if not just because, you know, it's getting kind of annoying. Like, you know, so many cars, so similar. Obviously, the battles get a little more dry when everybody up front's got the same equipment. So we've talked about maybe doing the Mustang, but no, for now, it'll be the Ferrari just because you know, there's a lot of new tracks coming up. There's actually a lot on the schedule the rest of the way that I haven't done before, and I'd rather learn a new track at a car I already know than try it and a piece of garbage like last week. So it was fun. It was a good experiment, but yeah, I won't be swapping around too often anymore.
It sounds like a dust buster, and we all know nobody enjoys dust busting, so that's exactly why it's no fun to drive, Marshall. But before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give to the millions and millions and your girlfriend cheering you on at home?
Yeah, shout out to Alyssa as always. Shout out to you guys for the awesome show. You know, obviously the admins. Just this week, just gonna be my team, man. Like, holy crap, they are just out of their minds. Jacob and Anthony, second class win in a row. Now the whole team has got back-to-back class wins at some point in the year, with Kyle getting his three-peats. So we're feeling good. We're having a really fun time practicing. We really do feel like a true team going on, and I think we're gonna extend our lead a little bit in the team's title. And I think that's the kind of organization that should win it. And yeah, finally, just shout out to Alex, man. You know, whether I had the little incident or not, he was going to be tough to beat, and he's just rapid anywhere. He got kind of a bad luck thing on Thursday night. He and I had a great battle. I ended up getting out on the good side of. He had some bad luck there, deserved a good race for himself, and he put it together. So that's all. We'll hopefully get back to seeing you guys next week. But after last week, I'm kind of shaken. You know, I got to stop taking you guys for granted.
Yeah, let's go put in those laps, Marshall. Best of luck next week at Road America. It's going to be a fun one.
Nice guys.
Take care. That was Marshall Crocker, our second place finisher in Pro Class Plus overall. Let's bring in our third place finisher. Final step on the podium for what I'm told by Anthony Sorrentino is Chesinu Matsukawawa. Welcome in, Chase, to have a chat with Richard Swindells.
Hello. Pace. Congratulations. Great pace. Great selection of track. You must be happy.
Oh yeah, well, I can't complain. Keeping up with those two as long as I did also was fun. So just killed the tires trying to do it.
I mean, yeah, I got to be honest with you. I mean, nothing against you, Chase, but I was surprised how well and how close and for how long you were within, you know, just over a second of Marshall and Alex. So you certainly must love Zolder if you pick this track.
You know, it's my favorite by far, which is weird for most people. I know I've been fighting people all week about it, but I love this place. So.
You don't have to fight. You don't have to fight him, Chase. You're right. Rob and I love it too. So, and we called that out on the broadcast. So everybody else is wrong. If they don't like it, they're just wrong, and
That's right.
That's all there is to it. But we saw you having the U.S. Marines livery tonight. Very nicely done. You're always patriotic in your liveries, and what's the reason for that, Chase? How do you come up with your liveries each week and week out?
Well, so I'm really into planes. So I'm in a fly DCS a lot, digital combat simulator, and that's based off of the squadron I fly with on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, and I was also in the Air Force, so.
Well, there you go. That would explain a little bit as well. Now,
Well,
admin
Rich,
advantage.
hold on, Rich. If you would read the car, it says Second Lieutenant Chase Matsko right on the driver's side.
I don't
above
have my
him.
glasses on, Rob. I don't have my glasses on. It's because I don't have glasses, because I need them. Okay, so there you go. Rob is much brighter than me. He picks up on the subtle nuances, Chase. Admin advantage. You guys do a great job running this league week in, week out. You and Matt and the rest of the gang. And the team had some great results tonight, Chase. So you must be thrilled.
Oh yeah, I worked with Matt big time last night to get him, because he hated this place so much. I'm like, listen, just sit down with me. I'll get you good at it. And he was really fast. He was almost faster than me for a little bit there. So
yeah, just a slight spin cost him his victory in his class. But anybody you'd like to give thanks to or shout out to tonight, Chase?
no, it's you guys and FMA for putting on a good show and a good broadcast and a good race.
Well, thank you, Chase, and thanks for having us here. We love coming here and broadcasting FMA racing. We hope to talk to you next week after Road America.
Hopefully. I suck there, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Right on. Thanks, Chase.
That's it.
That was our third place finisher, Chase Matsko, third overall, third in class. So hats off to him. Let's head off to the Pro-Am class now. We're going to bring in Anthony Broncos, takes the win in Pro-Am. Anthony, looks like we saw a little bit of a hairy experience there. I'm not sure if you were serving a slowdown where you kind of just backed out. Alex Jacobson had to go around. You almost got into the back of you. But talk us through what happened there.
Yeah, that was a hairy moment. It wasn't definitely not anything intentional. I pushed the button on my wheel, letting him know, hey, I'm letting you by here, because he's in a different class. I was trying not to lose time to Matt. I was close on fuel. I wanted to make sure I could get to the end and not fight and lose unnecessary time. I pushed the wrong button and told my team chat, Jacobson, go by me. So we already hashed it out in the chat, where it's all good. Fortunately nobody had serious damage from there, but yeah, that's all that was.
Now, it looked like Matt Mars early on had a pretty good hold on the Pro-Am race, potentially taking the win, and he had that spin. What were you thinking at that point in time? Were you just kind of putting in laps, thinking that maybe you were going to have to settle for second place, or were you trying to close that gap? And what were you thinking when you saw him spin and you were able to take that top spot?
Did he spin before or after the pit stop? I think he spun after the pit stop, if I remember right.
Yes,
I was
right.
looking at the relatives, and yeah,
was.
I just knew I had to keep. I was saving fuel, as I always do, and with saving 2 laps of fuel, that was a 4.5 second shorter pit stop than him if he went the full distance on his tank, which that gave me the jump, and I didn't have to fight anybody on my in lap or out lap, and I know he had to battle a little bit, so that was the difference right there.
We saw you and Jacobson were able to go that 1 lap extra longer. Did you think that actually worked out to your advantage to get ahead of Mars? I know sometimes, depending on the track, doing that little bit of saving fuel actually hurts you, and it doesn't work out as well, but it looked like it worked out well tonight for you. I think that strategy is what got you the win.
Absolutely. That strategy seems to be my MO. That's what I enjoy doing. It's fun to leapfrog somebody, especially with how hard it is to pass here. Any passes you can get done in the pits is absolutely critical in a sense. And if you don't have to fight anybody on an out lap, and if you can pit, I even took a little bit less fuel than I needed, knowing that even if somebody did get up to me, it was going to be hard to pass in this track. You just got to be fast enough out of just the right corners, and it's essentially, unless you make a mistake, it's borderline impossible to pass.
Yeah, well, a track that has multiple passing lanes next week at Road America. It's going to be fun to see the field head there. But before we let you go here, Anthony, anybody you want to give a shout out to cheering you at home or helping you put in laps each week to get you up to pace?
Truthfully, I mean, all I can say is good job, Jacob. Once again, back-to-back Pro-Am win. So he takes not his first Pro-Am win, but his second in a row. I mean,
hats off to him. He's been putting in the work. This track wasn't really a fan of it season 1. I didn't have a good experience here, but it's nice to get off the schneid there, and just a good overall finish for the team. I mean, I think Kyle was our lowest finisher, P14, so absolutely going to crush the team points there. I'm definitely good job to the Iron Horse Motorsports guys.
Yeah, excellent stuff to yourself and the team. Best of luck next week heading to Road America, Anthony. We hope to see you battling at the front of the field again. Take care.
Absolutely, guys. I'm looking forward to it.
That was Anthony Barranco, our winner in Pro-Am class. Let's bring in the driver who held that spot until his pit stop here. Matt Barrs is going to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Mr. Mellow Yellow, a solid second place. We thought you'd get first, though, Matt.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker. I kind of missed my pit stall. I stopped a little short. I've got to get a little more practice in of pitting with other cars on pit road with me, but clipped through Macon and pit road and thought I was in my stall and was about, half a car length too short and had to pull up. So that cost me probably 2 seconds in the pits. And apparently that was about all Anthony needed. He said he managed to save a little fuel as well. So had like 2 extra laps on me there. So all told, that, got made up the, probably 3 second gap I had on him going into the pits. But then I got a little aggressive trying to get around Jacobson, or battling with Jacobson, and then looped it, and that was all she wrote.
I was going to ask if that was what caused that, was you just pushing a little too hard, but fortunately it didn't cost you any positions in class with that little loop. So second's a solid effort. What'd you think of Zolder?
Well, I'll be completely honest with you, man. My first ever GT3 race with FMA was at this track, and I think I got 26 incident points and had 2 drive-through penalties. Just absolutely despise this place, and I've been trash talking it all week long, and which I like to rile Chase up too. This is his baby, and so I've been needling him and talking about how much of a crap hole it is and these ugly windmills out in the distance. But he worked with me. Me and him put in a practice session last night, and I found out, man, I've been overdriving the corners a little too much, and told him it's so counterintuitive to anything that I've ever, learned to. I'm just too fast through the corner, and that's usually not my case. And so I learned to slow down, and it made a huge difference. And
you certainly had some great qualifying pace and some good race pace. It was just a couple little things there. Yeah, I mean, you're close. You're real close. Next week we're at Road America. You must be familiar with Road America.
I am. It's not one of my favorites, but it is at least a track I'm familiar with, and we've raced a few times here in the league. So I think I've got a top 10 there the last time we ran. So yeah, I look forward to it. I'm gonna put a little more practice in. The wife and kids are gone tonight, so I'm probably gonna put the rest of the night in just practicing Road America, and see if we can't pull off a win for once. But it's coming. It's just, man, this will sting for a while.
Well, you and Alex Jacobson probably feel very similar. So
yeah, for real.
Anyhow, we love what you're done with the league, Matt. We gave Chase props, and I'll just tell you what we told Chase is anybody who disagrees with Chase on Zolder being a great track is just wrong. That's coming from Rob and I. But any shout-outs tonight, Matt? You give your shout-outs because we've been talking about you all night long. You get thanks to who you want now.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, thanks to all the guys. I mean, I think we had 39 or 40 guys show up tonight. I mean, this is a niche track, and it's a little bit, difficult, and I appreciate everybody showing up and making it a great race and making it such a clean one. From my point of view, it was anyway. We'll see, when stewarding starts. But yeah, thanks to the guys. Thanks to you guys for the wonderful broadcast. Thanks to my admin team that helps me out with all this, and once again, thanks to Chase for the practice this week and that we put in, and and then of course thanks to the wife and kids for allowing me to do this, and everybody that funds this broadcast and makes this thing possible as well.
Well, that's for sure. It's a free league, folks, if you didn't know. So everything's by donation and sponsorship. So come on out for FMA Racing. Thanks a lot, Matt. We'll
Absolutely.
hopefully talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
That was Matt Mars, our P2 finisher in Pro-Am. And then let's round out the Pro-Am side of things here with Dustin Wells and the Big Cheese, who brings it home third on the Pro-Am podium. Dustin, congrats. Got yourself that podium finish. Last season, we saw you dominate the start of AM class. You've been moved up into Pro-Am by your own accord here, opting to go up into Pro-Am class. It looks like you're holding your own so far.
Trying to. We'll say that. It's been an interesting season. It's been a fun season. Nobody likes to just run away with something. But yeah, hopefully it keeps staying better. I hated to wreck at St. Pete, but things happen. But I will say this was a rough track. Not gonna lie, was not easy.
Did you have much experience with this track coming into this race at all?
I ran it once and it was a nightmare, so I refused to ever run it again. But I'm gonna go ahead and shout out Chase. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, zero practice before this, really.
Well, maybe that should be your goal for the rest of the season heading into the final race. Is just don't put in the practice, just show up and get those podium positions. But we head to a drastically different track next week, Road America. How you feeling about heading into that one? Get yourself maybe a win in the Pro-Am side, possibly?
Maybe. We'll see. See how everybody else runs. The last half of the season is a bunch of owned tracks, so... Ver is one of my favorite. VIR is definitely one of my favorite tracks. We go to Sebring. It's a Florida track. Got to represent for Florida. So a lot of tracks I have a lot of good experience at. So I'd love to see maybe break into the top 3. I bet.
Folks.
We'll see.
Dustin Wells calling out. He's going to put top 3s in the rest of the season now. But before we let you go here, Dustin, anybody you want to shout out, give the Big Cheese the shout out, and we'll get you ready on to next week.
Oh, you know it. I'm going to shout out my brother, his sons, my nephews, friends, family. Last but not least, Aaron and the Big Cheese.
There we go. Well, best of luck next week at Road America, Dustin. You called it. We expect to see you possibly battling for a top 3, maybe getting that win, first win in Pro-Am class next week. Take care and best of luck to you.
Yes, sir. I will see you next time.
Take care. Okay, that wraps up the Pro-Am side of things. Let's bring in our back-to-back winner here in AM class, Jacob Williams. Catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey,
what's going on,
Jacob?
What's going on, gentlemen? How are y'all?
We're doing well. Are you getting bored of this? Once you claimed your maiden victory, it's just week after week now. It seems.
I don't know about that one. I've gotten super lucky the past couple of weeks. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about luck. Yeah, it certainly takes a little bit of skill, or a fair amount of skill, to negotiate your way around a track such as Zolder. Were you familiar with it? Did you put a lot of time in here to get ready for tonight?
So this was the first time I've raced here, but I ran quite a few laps this weekend trying to figure out the little areas, or the little sections or sectors, whatever you want to call it, to be able to kind of shrink your time down a little bit. And I'll be honest, I struggled the first go around. I think I ran about 40 laps, and then I ran like another 20, 25. And again, shout out to the Iron Horse boys, Marshall, Kyle and Anthony, ran the few laps, and they just really dissected my my line essentially, and told me where I needed to kind of like focus on some certain areas, and I was able to shrink that time down close to 7 to 8 tenths. And I mean, I felt like that kind of helped, able to position me where I needed to be tonight.
Well, that's for sure, and and that's the one great thing with the team aspect coming into FMA. Is you get that opportunity to work with your teammates, and some people get around different tracks better than others, and it's always nice to have a little assistance when you're struggling with something, and you certainly took advantage of that tonight.
Yes, sir. No, again, it's I couldn't do it without the Iron Horse boys. Again, they've really taken me underneath their wing. So, a lot of credit to them. Those guys have really, in the one specifically, and I always have to give people, credit where credit is due, is, Kyle. He really kind of puts in a lot of time to analyze my laps, and I mean, in the nicest way possible. There's some times where he's like, well, it's not very good, but there's time to improve.
He didn't just say you suck.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it's shout out to Kyle on that for sure.
Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do at Road America. See if maybe you can get yourself a three-peat. But besides your teammates, anybody else you'd like to thank tonight?
I'd like to thank you guys, for doing the broadcast. As always, I always love going back and watching it. You guys put on a heck of a show and a heck of a production. And, shout out to the guys at the admins of FMA, Chase and Matt, for getting these races put on and, getting, the amount of guys on Mondays. And specifically, I've been racing Thursdays now, too, just because it's been so much fun. And just the atmosphere within the league that they create, definitely there's a lot of competition and a lot of guys to learn from, but also it's a lot of clean racing all at the same time. Shout out to those guys for, setting the standard and setting the bar high, for a wonderful league. And then most importantly, shout out to my wife for allowing me to do this and, taking care of her baby girl while I kind of sit in here, run a few practice laps, and then kind of disappear for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, right on, Jacob. Well, congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing what you got in store for us next week.
Perfect. Appreciate you, gentlemen. Have a good night.
You too.
It was Jacob Williams, our winner in AM class, back-to-back winner in AM class. And it looks like we don't have Faraz Ibrahim, our second place driver, but we do have Mr. Alexander Berter, who finished up third place in class tonight. So let's bring him in here and see how much Stebo helped him get that podium position.
Yeah, he was all over me tonight. I kind of forgot to turn my camera on until it was too late, and yeah, he definitely helped. He was in my ear the entire race.
I think maybe one night we just need the camera focused on Stebo the whole time, and then when we have you on screen, we'll
set that up next week.
We'll put Stebo on, and I think all the dog lovers will hate it, but all the cat lovers will love it. But Zolder, a track that so far most of the drivers we talked to haven't been a big fan of. Some of them didn't even own it until this week. How did you like the track, Alex?
So I was not a big fan of it at first. Me and Dustin were doing some practice this week. If you get the lines right and you know where you can corner cut, you can definitely pick up pace. I was definitely concerned, rightfully so, thinking about 40 GT3 cars on it. But yeah, actually, I'll probably end up running this if I see it come up in officials from now on. It's a pretty good track.
There you go, Rich. We converted another one.
Convert! Yay!
Another convert.
Yeah, Rich and I both love this track. I think it gets a raw deal. I love racing here. Maybe it's just because I seem to do well. You always tend to like a track you do well. But we head to Road America next week, a track that's a little more like the track we were at last week, being Spa. So how you feel about your chances there, getting another podium position, or even maybe knocking Jacob off the back-to-back wins that he has?
Yeah, I know. I need to get up there. I think I only have one P2, no wins this year. It's nice going into a track I know. Have to really sit there and learn the corners. I can just focus on tenths here and there. So I'm excited.
We're excited to see how you do next week as well as we hit to the midway point of the season. But before we let you go here, Alex, any shout-outs you want to give to the millions at home cheering you on?
Yeah, big shout-out to all the threshold guys as normal. It's a good race. Big shout-out to you guys in the booth as well. And, yeah, big thanks to Dustin this week. Definitely helped. And big shout-out to all the guys we ran the 24 with.
Excellent stuff. Well, best of luck heading into Road America next week. We'll get that practice in as we're hoping to see big things from you and Stebo. Take care.
All right, thank you, guys.
And that is going to wrap up the interviews for this week, Rich. So we managed to convert one driver, Alex Berger, over to loving. Well, I don't necessarily think he loves Zolder, but we've converted him into liking it a little more than he did before, anyways, Rich. But next week we head to Road America, another track that we like, a track that more similar to the track we were at last week, as I just mentioned to Alex. But I think 40 cars or 40 plus cars next week at Road America, probably on the books again, and I think we're going to have just an exciting race.
I hope to see even more than that, because Road America is a big track to fill, folks. So come on out and get racing.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned earlier, it is a free league to join. You will find the Discord link to the league in the description of the video if you want to join in and get yourself out there on track, competing with all the drivers you saw on screen this evening. But that's going to wrap things up for us here. We'll see you a week from today. It'll be July 20th. We hit the midway point of the Alpha Reinforcing FMA GT3 series. Till then, for myself, Rob Campbell, and Richard Swindells, who still keeps a streak so far, although it's going to break in a week or two.
Yeah,
he's going to go on holidays, but we'll catch you back next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.